All right, you ready?
What are we picking on my imperfections today?
Oh, no, we're not picking on you today.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going to try and hurt your brain again. We're back there again.
Oh, right. Cool. Awesome.
So bear with me because I'm not sure how well this is going to land, but give me a minute.
We're just figuring out this whole podcast thing,
Yeah, just
guys.
playing with something. So I'm reading a book called Alchemy at the moment.
Yep.
And the whole concept of the book is that I sort of mentioned it a couple episodes ago about like nonsense versus nonsense.
Yeah.
And another term that he uses I really like is psychological. So it's not psychological. It's like two words put together. So it's like it's logical based on how someone thinks, not based on... I think he uses like an economic layout or like a logical layout.
Okay.
So this is this is talking about a politician, but it obviously works in everything, business owners, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, is apt to be wise in his own conceit, and is often so enamored with the supposed beauty of his own ideal plan of government that he cannot suffer the smallest deviation in any part of it. He goes on to establish it completely and in all its parts without any regard for either the great interests or the strong prejudices which may oppose it. He seems to imagine that he can arrange the different members of a great society with as much ease as hand arranges the different pieces on a chessboard. He does not consider that pieces upon the chessboard have no other principle of motion besides that which the hand impresses upon them. So the last bit's the important part. Okay. So the concept being, we think in business, we're going to talk about sales today, in business, in sales, in marketing, that if we can see a logical pathway, that has to be the right one.
Yeah.
So a really cool example that he used in the book that I think will resonate with us. Why the fuck is Red Bull popular?
Yeah.
It tastes like shit. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's way better.
It tastes like shit
out there.
Yeah. So 95% of people that market tested Red Bull said it tasted shit.
Yeah.
And it's the number one competitor to Coca-Cola in the world.
Yeah. Red Bull's just the fucking awesome...
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It's hard to even describe what Red Bull are.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's
what
like
is
they're
it?
not an energy drink. Are they really an energy drink now?
Well,
It's
that's
like
how they
they're
made their money to do the shit
just
that they
like
do now.
Fucking,
a brand that does nothing. It makes no sense.
A brand that does cool shit.
Yeah.
Drops people from outer space.
Yeah, it's like, but surely that's a publicity stunt to sell something, and then what do you sell? Do you sell the shit product that no one likes? But people still buy it.
I think at the base of it, it still is the
Jaeger bombs.
which is the crazy thing.
Jaeger bombs are piggybacking Red Bull.
I was watching, shouts out to the Performance Hub boys. I was watching the story the other day. Carl had his first Monster.
Oh, I seen that.
And he was like standing at the counter, like, I messaged Max. I'm like, he looks like a 15-year-old kid that's about to have he thinks that Monster's like alcohol. It's like
just
drink.
about to have his first VB or something.
Yeah, it's like your parents said you couldn't have it, so I'm like, oh, which one should I get?
I love how the next bit's him deadlifting. It's like, whoa, you're not going to be able to replicate that, mate.
So yeah, that was super, super interesting. I don't remember if we told the margarine story on the podcast or not. We did?
Yeah.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks.
You can give it a recap.
I'm going to tell it again.
No, well, we might have
for people who haven't heard.
That's it. New listeners.
So the author of this book, I heard him tell this story on a podcast, how when they introduced margarine, it was grey. So it was like the colour of the curtains in here for the YouTube people.
Yum.
Yeah. Looks just what you want on your fucking toast in the morning.
Think about any food that's grey that you eat now. It's fucking zero.
Yeah.
Maybe mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not that great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless they're drowned in butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or unless they're the magic kind.
Are the fun ones. And
those,
then
those are not great.
And then they're blitzed in orange juice. It helps it absorb faster, guys. Didn't hear it from me. So they created a product, and it's something to do with the aluminium in the process that turns it grey. And then they started kind of doing, scary, right? They started doing market testing of like why it worked. Market testing of like, is it good? Do people like it? It was a pushback against the dairy industry, blah, 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 blah. So they did taste tests and everyone said
delicious.
They don't like it.
Oh.
It tastes no good. Butter tastes way better. And then he did an experiment where he ran an event and got heaps of people to come, and then he did like scones or bread or whatever, and they dyed the butter grey and dyed the margarine yellow.
Yeah.
Switcheroo.
That's it.
Got him, and everyone voted that the yellow stuff was better, which was the margarine.
Imagine being that. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, actually.
You're a fucking idiot.
my wife does that with food all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, do you like this? Nah. Have you ever had it? Nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's true. You don't like it, I guess, until you've had it.
Well,
but
true. Yeah.
yeah, I'm just like,
I can't say
you've
I
never tried
like
it. Oh, I don't like the look of it.
Mm.
I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So, one of the quotes that I wrote down, which I think we need to, the most useful takeaway is in this one sentence. I just wanted to read that cool thing about the chessboard. People don't think what they feel. They don't say what they think, and they don't do what they say. So if you're going to do a feedback form, so every business coach out there is like, oh, you have to poll all of your clients every 3 months. That's my new voice. Use it every now and then.
It's a Jordan Peterson voice.
Yeah. With the intent of getting reliable feedback from your clients.
Yeah.
When was the last time your client was actually said anything bad?
Reliable.
Yeah. There's maybe one and you're like, fuck that. Fuck them. That's usually how it works. So if they don't know what they feel, or if they don't think what they feel, you can't interpret like what they're saying to you as actually valuable information.
Yeah.
I would still do it, and we will continue to do it to get as much insight as we can. Personally, I think there's more value to lean into the things that work rather than the things that don't.
Yeah. So
we ran a workshop yesterday for the first time and like asked for feedback, and everyone was like, no, it was good.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not. There's a better way to do it. I know there is.
Correct.
But they're unable to express how they feel because they don't think how they feel.
Yeah. And they don't really.
So what they felt was probably overwhelmed because it was a new topic.
Yeah, and if you've never done that before, you don't really know what it's supposed to be. So how are you supposed to give feedback on it?
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for it to be better when it's the first time you've ever exposed to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he uses this example of like, why don't you like standing on a train? I'm asking you.
Why don't I like standing on a train?
Yeah.
Because when it stops, you could go flying if you're not paying attention.
Yeah. So it's the balance thing.
Yeah, we could hurt yourself.
So if we put seats that you could lean on a train instead of seats, that would solve the problem.
So if I could stand,
so you
but
could like
then
lean.
also be supported.
Yeah, or like even like lean against like a standing seat.
That would solve one of the problems. Yeah.
So then he goes down this rabbit hole, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, he basically gets to the point where it's like no one can really tell you why they don't like standing up.
Maybe because it takes more effort than sitting.
Yeah, but then, so what happens when a train is empty or it starts to empty, the people who are standing stay standing. Why?
Oh, they're fools. I'll go for the seat.
So then he introduces the idea of like, well, maybe the solution is that maybe seating feels exclusive on a busy train. And it's like, you got the good seat.
Oh.
So instead, if you put seats down the middle, so you just put one row of seats and you get a cup holder and that's it.
Yeah.
And then if you put all these like bum spots
on the side
so everyone can stand and lean, you get somewhere to put your bag, you've got hand space, you don't have fucking dicks and asses in your face the whole time. Like maybe that means standing is now the better place to be.
Yeah.
So his thing is like, you've got to go outside of logic to actually find the solution for the problem that's in front of you. The number one way I see this expressed with personal trainers is the poster on the toilet door.
Yeah.
You will get a program, a nutrition plan, a face-to-face session. It's like no one gives a fuck about that. No one cares.
No.
So taking this concept on board and trying to investigate what the person feels is so much more valuable than the logical thing of like, but I'm just the best. I'm the smartest. I have the best program or whatever.
If I tell them about all the stuff, they'll want to buy.
Yeah.
They'll want to jump on board.
Yeah. And even stay.
Yeah.
I've worked with some coaches in the past that were stupidly intelligent. And I've stayed with them way less than I have, like a way shorter period of time than I have other coaches who maybe present less. They're not less intelligent, but they don't talk about programming. They focus on other aspects way more.
Yeah.
And I stayed with them for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Rather than 2-3 months. Which is really interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting. Then there's like, there's still people that would stay with that person longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But, and then it's just like, well, what do they feel?
Yeah, true.
Why?
Yeah.
So there's, say that smart coach who prides himself on being the smartest. Other people who also get a kick out of being the smartest.
They gravitate to it.
It actually has nothing to do with your program.
Yeah.
It's to do with the idea that your program's special, so your community likes that feeling, so then they buy into it.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, my coach knows stuff other coaches don't know.
Yeah.
Which is really contrary. And like, I'm picturing a coach that like would think that way, like the just be good coach, like just be the best personal trainer in your gym and everything will be fine. And it's like, just by taking that on, you're appealing to a particular feeling that people have.
Yeah.
So it's the same, you're just not conscious of it.
Yeah.
You're just unaware that that's how you're attracting people and why they're interested in you.
Yeah. You're not breaking my mind as bad today.
That's good. You're on track.
Thank you. My mind is still one piece. It's not scrambled.
I think you're a little less hungry than the last time we did, and I think you had a migraine as well when we did the AI one. So.
You could not have beat down on my brain more at a time that I was weak.
Got him.
I scrambled eggs after that.
Payback for that boxing session however many years ago. So it got me thinking about, we've in the last 6 months taken a real deliberate, focus on logic. So rebuild the website. We're moving a lot into data tracking. Dad and I are working pretty hard behind the scenes on being able to have really specific data. Because too much of what we've done up to this point is like gut feel stuff.
Yeah.
And then we come into Standout PT and like Z asked the other day, so how are you going with putting your link in bio thing at the top of your reel instead of at the bottom? I'm like, don't know. Like, it seemed good. It was a feeling thing.
Yeah.
So you interpreted it and went, I think this is how humans are going to behave.
Yeah.
And I think about when
no one reads the captions.
Well, that's it. Exactly. And then even yesterday, like, the workshop we did was on building lead magnets and creating social media campaigns. No one wants to film themselves. So everyone was like, I'm going to make a PDF. And it was logically, everything in that PDF was great.
Yeah.
Every piece of information you're going to put in there is awesome. And then 3/4 of the way through the workshop, when we introduced the concept of YouTube, it was like, okay, so who has downloaded a PDF in the last 2 years and read it?
Yeah.
And everyone in the room was like, no. So it's like, okay, who's watched a video series? And everyone said yes. So it's like, logically, putting out a PDF is great and it's going to have all the information that your clients need to do. But the feeling isn't going to be there.
No.
Even we were looking at some data yesterday, and this is where it becomes interesting. You can start looking at data differently. So we've got our first 1K week resource out at the moment.
Yeah.
stcfit.com. Head to STC Learn.
The blue side.
And you'll see 1K week resource. So when you opt in, you get the video series straight away.
Yeah.
You just click it. It's a YouTube playlist. There's like 7 videos. They're fantastic. And it's a full, proper, like, slide presentation from Jess. Really, really good. We know, just watching the slides, probably won't change your business. Might a little bit. You'll take a few bits and pieces and you change how you do things. If you wanted to maximize the impact that it had, you'd need to do something. So we created a workbook. So it's downloadable PDF, with check marks. Have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done this? And you sort of work through it. And then once that's complete, I'm 1,000% convinced if you tick every box on that worksheet, you'll make $1,000 a week. Like, done.
Yep.
90% of the people that opted in opened the email. 48% of them actually downloaded the thing.
Yeah.
So it's like you're watching the logic of like, well, how many people want to do the thing versus how many people just want to absorb the content.
Yeah, or they just like the concept of making $1,000.
Yeah. It's just like, I just want to watch the videos and I'll take from it what I want. A lot of you always get like the, so what did you get out of the workshop today? Oh, it just reaffirmed what I already knew. You get that quite a lot.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, it reaffirmed what you already knew, but you're not doing.
Yeah, because
So you have to do the next part of the doing. That's why you're here. Yeah, I think that stuff like that becomes fascinating. Then it's like content-wise, this is even more important. Like starting to think about, logically, me posting a deadlift tutorial is really useful. But everyone posts deadlift tutorials. It's really boring. So it's like, logically it's what people need, but realistically is it useful? And it's like, if you want to get across a deadlift queue, actually shout out to Dennis. I cannot pronounce your last name, dude. I'm sorry.
That's Viveki.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tam.
So uncultured, man. It's not even hard.
Yeah, it's just like I see too many letters and I freak out. I'm just paranoid about like saying the wrong name or pronouncing things wrong. It's one of my fears. I don't know why.
There's a V and a C and a K. I'm out.
I'm out. So yeah, he put up a great post about bracing.
Yeah.
Which is like the most boring fucking topic ever. No one cares. Powerlifters care a little bit, but even then it's just like, do a breath. But the way it's delivered and the way it evolves throughout the swipes, I was like, I swiped through it all. Like, it was enough that the heading got me, and then I was like, oh, that's a really cool way of explaining it. It was really interesting, and I was like, I would use that cue with my clients moving forwards. So when you start thinking along this like psychological pathway, it's like, what are they gonna feel when they watch this?
Yeah.
What's gonna be? We have in our article generator, like, the last part is overcome. So you do catchy headline, challenge their thinking, inform, recommend, and then the last thing's overcome. Because 99% of people, even when you're listening to this podcast, already you would have had dialogue within your brain to argue with me about something I've said so far.
Yeah.
There would have been a but you have to talk about your features, or but the best PT in the gym does have the most clients, or but, like, you know what I mean? Like, results get referrals. Like, you would have presented arguments throughout that. My ability to say all what I just said and to know all of them is critical to be able to create good content that hits on the feelings.
Yeah.
To be able to overcome the thing that you're responding with, because that's going to come from a feeling, which I think is really interesting.